Today on the Overdrive Radio podcast, this edition for April 28th, 2023, we're going to drop into a talk I had at the Mid-America Trucking Show just 1 month back with Charlotte, North Carolina-based owner-operator Deron Salmon about his brand new truck networking application for iPhone and Android devices. Available now for a 14-day free trial with a subscription monthly afterward. I'm Todd Dills, your host as usual, and Salmon's app's origin story stems from a void he felt like he saw in broker-lookup tools for owner-operators. There are some out there for sure. The big load boards are a principal one. But Salmon wanted to take the concept further to allow for quicker, more inclusive ways to rate and review experiences, potentially to change the way individual owners and small fleets approach vetting freight partners altogether.
As soon as you call a broker, first thing they say, what's your MC number? But why are we not asking that question?
They're asking for your MC number, of course, to validate that you have authority. Some of the places brokers do that, furthermore, as many of you will know, also allow for broker users to review and rate carriers. With enough owner-operator uptake of Deron Salmon's new truck networking app, owner-ops will be able to read such reviews about brokers as well, he envisions, and share their own experiences, as you'll hear in today's podcast. That's not all there is to the app, though. It's got robust accounting and IFTA functionality, premium truck-specific navigation, and is significantly aided by the reality that owner-operator Salmon has been behind the development of a lot of the tools himself.
So I just tell people, stay tuned. I just want to make it a one-stop shop. Everything in trucking, that you need, it'll be here.
With its release just last month, Salmon's slowly transitioning away from the road himself, also training in aviation as a commercial pilot. But he's still a proud owner of his last rig after a couple decades in the business. It's a 2000 Kenworth W900 he told me a little bit more about as we spoke at Matt's.
I'm actually in a lot of people might have seen my truck. I call it the 2000 Orange Kenworth, the W9. It's a show truck, marble floors, Rolls Royce lights. So when people hear that, they probably be like, "Well, I remember seeing that truck." But yeah, it's a beauty. It's a beauty. So it's one of those,
2000.
That's the 2000, so I get to still run paper laws. It has the 99 build, so I get to still be, enjoy trucking the way that I like to. I'm an old school guy, so.
Did you show it when you were?
I didn't. I never showed it.
I never showed the truck.
Yeah. The thing is, the only reason like moments like this is because I have this app. I have to, I'm the brand. I don't like attention, man. Believe it or not, I don't want it's like I like the nice things, and I always wanted. It was my dream truck when I first got into it, the W9, and I always wanted a custom W9. But it's like the attention is something I got to get used to because it has like when I fuel, I'll lower it. I got to lower it so to get out. So I'll drop the bags, and it's like sitting on the ground, and it brings a lot of attention. It's a really cool truck, but just never showed it because I don't want that much attention. I just want to serve, I feel like serve my God and do my due diligence, giving back the information I had, that I've learned, so I could save you time and money, making some of the mistakes I made. And the one thing I would tell, owner operators getting in the game now is it's easy to buy a truck. A lot of people are giving these loans, and dealerships are giving trucks with no money down and working with drivers. They're putting you in trucks easily. But just because you can drive a truck doesn't mean you're ready to run a business. Once you become an owner operator, you have to understand you're a business person. There's a transition. You have to think differently. It goes back to, like I stated, my military values. You have to be a professional at all times, and it will only help your business because you are your business. You are the brand. You have to model yourself as such.
On the other side of a break, we'll drop into Deron Salmon's trucking history and much more about his road to introducing the new app.
Every diesel needs to defend against clogged injectors, low lubricity, and slipping fuel economy. The best defense is the best defender. House Diesel Defender with advanced IDX4 detergent. Get a deeper clean, maximum lubricity, and boosted fuel economy. Guaranteed. House Diesel Defender. Get optimal performance. House, for every diesel.
Find more about Diesel Defender at House. That's HOWES. HouseProducts.com. Here's Salman.
My name is Deron Salmon. I'm actually originally from Rochester, New York. Currently reside in Charlotte, but run my business, out of Dallas, Texas. So I'm always in Texas, Dallas area, Plano, Frisco area. Got out the military in 2007. I always have this running joke where I was tricked into trucking. My orders were up to go to Japan, and a buddy of mine, he had his LLC, and he masked it as if he had his own authority and all this stuff, and I'll come work for him. Me being 21, I didn't know, I'm thinking I'm about to get out and be a business manager for him or something like that, work for him. So he was like, oh, I need you to learn the business, get your CDL, go through Prime, So I went out to Springfield, Missouri, September of 2007, got my CDL with Prime Incorporated, ran for them for a year, under the contract that they had to receive my CDL. I did that, and then immediately purchased my own truck, because in that time I went from company driver to at least purchase, where I could make more money. And now I'm learning the game. I'm finding out, oh, you didn't have your own company, you were just leased on, which was cool, and I'm grateful for it, because it opened up doors, a world that I never knew existed. I never knew I wanted to be a part of.
Right.
So from there,
it's not like you grew up around trucking.
Correct. I didn't grow up in trucking or anything like that. I was literally tricked into it. So from there, I saved my money. I started learning, really fast the details, of everything. I wanted to know, I was listening to those conversations about how to cut fuel costs, and, you're running in an efficient manner, building relationships and things of that nature. And always, and things I learned from the military, always, being a professional at all times, and that's including your appearance. So I just mixed that in, and then from there, I was like, I just want to, why give someone such a large percentage, as far as the truck payments and all that stuff, it's really not. When you look at, when you're leasing, and some, leases change. I'm just speaking on, back then.
Yeah.
But, it really wasn't as profitable as it should have been, because I was making $2,000, but I didn't understand that I need to put money to the side for business. So I really wasn't making, but maybe $600, $700,
Right.
So I ended up purchasing my own truck and did the Snyder Choice program when they first released that. And I did that in 2008. Did that for a while.
Great.
Fast track, 2013. I was full blown, had my own authority. Did that, purchased a few trucks, trailers, and I've been in it since then. Ran some good contract, got some good contracts with some good companies, like Harris Teeter being one of them, Nephron on the medical side, General Steel out of Charlotte, North Carolina, had a contract with them, had a few lanes with them, so it just grew from there.
Right.
But it all started with being tricked into it.
Right, and you're back. I mean, at this point, you're just back down to a single truck. Is that how that went? But you were running a small fleet there for a while.
Yeah, I was. So it went. Trucking has ups and downs. I went through some growing pains in between those years. So in 2013, I blew to 8 trailers and 5 drivers.
Okay.
But then I was doing the company driver part. So I would have my truck, but then everybody else was company drivers. And then I, looking at my numbers, when you do your P&L reports,
Sure.
I run my P&L, and I'm like, man, how am I more profitable, with one truck than I was with 5?
You were making more, you were bringing more money.
Correct.
In
by myself.
At the bottom line, by yourself.
Yeah, correct. Than I was with them. So I was like,
liability, right?
correct, all this liability on. So I had to scale back and, go back to the basics, and figure out, learn something's missing.
Right.
And then at that point, I decided in 2013, I brought people on, but I will only bring you on if you had skin in the game, meaning you had your own truck, you leased onto me. I'll provide the trailer, and I'll take a percentage of everything you book. You book your own freight. If you need help, I'll help you, but, you book your own, you got skin in the game, then I'll just take a percentage of that. And when I leased the trailer, I did it on a point where you buy back. As soon as you pay me with whatever we agreed to, I'll give you the title, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I just grew to that point, and it was good.
When you had the owner operators leasing on, were they running some of your contract freight too?
Correct. Yeah. They would run a couple guys. They were cool with just losing the spot market.
They just run boards.
They just enjoyed that, and I just let them do their thing. They were cool, stayed out. They didn't want to bother, because we're in the contract freight. I'm a little more strict because, that's my agreement to that customer.
Yeah.
That's a direct customer for me. So, if anybody knows anything about that lane where you have a direct customer, that's a whole nother ball game, because they're expecting you to be on point. They're expecting you, but it's also guaranteed work, you know? So I was a little more strict, and, you know, I understand that certain people, hey, I want to be more laid back. I don't want to work, you know, on Saturday mornings if I have to, you know, if I don't want to, things of that nature. So for me, you know, I found that good with a couple drivers. They actually did enjoy it. Like, one of my guys ran a Nephron. He'll go to Cincinnati. He knew he was going to Cincinnati twice a week, and we always had a backhaul to come right back down and pick up another load, run right back up. So he enjoyed that. With Harris Teeter, we enjoyed the produce out of Philly. We knew Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we were good as long as we were in Philly or Miami, you know, to get some produce. So.
Right. One of the reasons that we're talking, of course, is that not only have you done all this now, but you're kind of exiting trucking in a certain way, I understand, but you still do have your own truck.
Correct.
In the garage, ready to go if need be.
Correct.
Tell me about the transition that you're making here, and there's a brand new application that you've built that in some ways kind of fills a little bit of a void. There are other things like it, but a void. Information sharing about experiences with brokers, among other features.
So part of my exit came to the point where I have to focus on the app that I created. The app is called Truck Networking, Trucking for short.
That's truck_N, that is, trucking.
And the app, the whole point of the app, I will never forget it. I was picking up a load with a broker. He told me to be there at like 10 in the morning. So I got there, you know, 8 a.m. or whatever. And the shipper was like, hey, this load won't be ready till 2 a.m. And I didn't mind waiting, but I'm just like, hey, you know, are you going to accommodate me, pay me, yada, yada. So he's like, hey, I'm not paying you anything. Correct. It was a long wait. He's like, hey, I'm not, you know, I can't agree to that. You know, the shipper messed up. I didn't drop the ball. So there was no accountability. So I'm like, hey, I can't wait this long, you know, for something. And, it, you know, it's not, and they're saying it might be ready. Keyword might. So and if anybody knows anything about trucking, if a shipper says might, you might as well add a few hours to that. So I ended up canceling the load because I was just like, I can't afford to just sit here on possibilities, and I know he's not willing to pay me anything extra. So I'm headed home, and then the whole time I'm watching all these trucks on I-77 go southbound. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, man, I canceled it, but I wonder which one of these guys might be going to get it, right. And they don't know, and I have no way of telling them about this experience. Right. So I was like, man, we have to have some way to leave reviews on brokers. I'm like, why can they leave reviews? They have Carrier 401 where they can check us, but as soon as you call the broker, first thing they say, what's your MC number? But why are we not asking that question? And that day I was just like, a light bulb went off. I was like, well, let me look into this more. At first it was just a thought in my head, you know, for about a year. And then I drew it out on paper to see if it could work. Talked to other drivers that I didn't know as I'm going to these different places to pick up. I'm like, hey, if this was the option, would you be interested in something like that? And the feedback was amazing. So I was like, all right, well, let me put money behind it now. So created that, and it's the first of its kind because yes, there's backdoor ways like Google. You can leave reviews on shippers and things of that nature.
Load boards too. I mean, DAT and Truck Stop have their review sections. I mean, you have to go search, like, it's not in your face. That's not what they were built for. It is available in their system, but of course you got to be subscribed to that
correct
platform. If you're not,
and you got to be paying the $80 a month and all that good stuff to get all the features. So with me, I was just like, we're gonna, you know, the whole point of truck networking is this is the first app actually created by a driver.
First app of its kind, that is, with strong navigation capability, as we'll hear, in addition to the broker lookup and review tools Deron Salmon's already referenced there.
Once I got into the tech world, I started learning a little more about it. A lot of these big apps, they were built by people that had never been in a truck before. Yeah. They were just doing a lot of, they pulled up analytics and what they thought we needed. Yeah. Well, this application will be, when I tell people, when you download it, there's a 14-day trial. Once you download it, you'll know that a driver had some work in this. In mind, yeah. Because there's just going to be some differences. There are going to be things that's right there, direct, the verbiage, what's important to us, when you're rating these people, what's important? Are they going to pay on time? Things of that nature. Are they professional? Are they rude to you? Those are things that are important. So now being able to just pull their MC up, type in the MC, get a full report on seeing everything, their star review, and see the comments from other drivers.
Right. Are you pulling in data from the FMCSA into the platform? Or?
Correct. So on the back door. So how it works is, and I don't want to give out too much info
Sure.
behind but how it works is basically we're pulling it from FMCSA. So if they're a broker and they're active, it's on there.
Yeah.
And if they go out of business, they'll fall off because it runs itself in the back door every 30 days.
Right.
If anybody comes in and if anybody's going out, so we'll know.
Gotcha.
So all the information is accurate. The phone numbers, you can call them directly from there. You see the address on there if it's available. Whatever is on there, you'll see it there.
So whenever they get their authority is revoked, they essentially just disappear from there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
How long has this been available?
Well, the app just went. It was live March 10th of 2023 of this year. From there, the developer or the marketing team, we had, it takes time to get on, the stores, the ads. So it wasn't live to the public until last week. Okay. But it's been live where like family and friends and guys that I've already, truckers that I've already gotten their phone numbers that were standing by waiting on it. Yep. It was live for them on, March 10th. Cool. So it's real new. It's real new.
That's awesome. How are people liking it, in terms of the use?
I have feedback. People actually love it. I actually was using a couple drivers that, on the developmental phase process to test it out, constantly test, to be a part of the testing. Right. Because I didn't want people that I knew to be involved heavily, because I feel like if you're getting your friends and family involved all the time, then they're going to tell you what you want to hear sometimes. But a guy that doesn't know you, he's going to tell you what you need to hear. Yeah. So the feedback has been amazing thus far. Like anything, there's trial and error. I had minor hiccup. A lot of people didn't notice the 14-day trial. So, some of the feedback was, hey, I would like to try it out before paying. And I'm like, you can try it out. But I noticed people just seen the price, but they ignored the 14-day trial. Yeah. So we're, my team and I, we're noticing things, and we're working on that, because there's other features on there that are amazing. Yeah. That would benefit a driver. My favorite feature on there is the navigation. So again, once I came into the tech space, I noticed that a lot of these navigation companies, even me being out there, I don't care how big it is, Garmin, or if it's Trucker Path, whoever navigation, they're all using like the same type of SDK. What they call it, the SDK, is like a key for vaults, for codes to be able to build, for developers to be able to build. So I know some of this is like speaking Arabic to some of the listeners, but it's basically saying that there's not many options to build a trucking navigation. So the app was technically done to put it in perspective. My app was done basically in August of 2022, but we're just now finishing. It was supposed to go live October, but it was that hard to find, because none of these SDKs or the people that are making these truck routes, they're never involving truckers. So TomTom actually released in December. They actually released December 29th. They partnered with Amazon, to compete with Google and a couple other companies. They all partnered together. There's 4 companies. I can't remember the other 2, but they partnered together. And I reached back out to them because they didn't have it wasn't applicable on iOS at that time in August when I first reached out to them. And they're, I'm working with them as a trucker. They love the fact that they're now having a trucker involved, and I'm working with their head developer. For example, as I was telling you off air, they have this quarter, second quarter, they're going to remove U-turns, because I was like, hey, trucks can't make U-turns. We can't make U-turns, but every app has that. Every app. So this will be the first. My app is the first trucking app that's live of theirs, of this partnership. So on my app, I'll have the first app for truckers where, hey, you can't take U-turns. I told them.
Using another navigation app as an example, Salman noted,
this is like all the navigation. It's the same thing. It was like, you're putting 13.6, you're putting your height, and you're putting your dimensions and everything. But it had me on a farm road. It was like, a truck could be on this, but I shouldn't be on this. So those were things that I looked into, and I talked to TomTom, hey, we can't do this. We can't do this, based on my experiences. So my favorite feature on there is the navigation. And what I like also with our navigation is you can click, like there's main things drivers need: truck repairs, truck stops, and your CAT scales. Those are some of the main things you'll need while you're rolling. So with that, all you have to do while you're on navigation, let's say you're moving, You're on the interstate, you're rolling. If you're like, oh man, a slight leak, or you have some type of emergency, you need a truck repair on your route. You don't want to go way out your way. You just click the button, just push the truck repair button, and it'll pull up all the details, the website, the phone number, the hours, and you can route directly to them. From there, and it'll give you the truck route directly to them. So, I love our navigation. I've been using it.
There's a nice weather feature within the app too.
I was running a Nephron account out of from Columbia, South Carolina to Columbus, Ohio, and I noticed that when I was running this route, I'm like, I caught myself on my weather on my phone, checking every city that I have to cross, especially in the wintertime, to see if I'm gonna be dealing with snow. Can I beat the snow? When is the snow coming? Things of that nature. But I'm also a pilot, an aviation pilot, private pilot. I have my private pilot license, and I noticed in aviation, when we're planning our flights, we can get a full, weather report on the route that we're going. So I was like, why don't we have this in trucking? There's nothing like that on the road. There's something like that in the air, but so I'm like, the data is out there. Yeah. So it let me know that the data was out there. So I was like, since the data is out there, let me figure out how to get it and put it on this application. So that's what I did. So now, if you're going from Columbia, South Carolina to Columbus, Ohio, just type that in and it'll give you a full detailed weather report. Right. And let's say, hey, I want to stop in Charleston, West Virginia. Well, click on, and you want to see what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. You can actually select Charleston, West Virginia, and it'll give you, the detailed weather for the week. So it's pretty cool.
It sounds like at a glance you can sort of see when you're planning that route, checking that route, you can see the weather at all the different points, like at a glance. But then it's just like if you want more details about a particular place on it, you just click in, and it's kind of like the Weather Channel app where it shows you every day. And it takes time into account.
Yep. And you can actually navigate from there. So you can navigate directly from that page because it's going to show you the truck route. And the cool part is in development, some people have their own routes. For example, when we were developing it, it had me going up from that Columbia, South Carolina to Columbus, Ohio. It had me going straight up to 77 and cutting across 70. When every driver knows that that's not the route you would take, you would cut across 64 and up US, 35. Yep. So I was like, hey, we got to have alternatives. Right. I was like, hey, offer alternatives. So once you go on weather and route, you get to choose the route that you want to go, and all are still truck specific routes. So it's really cool. Like when I say I can go on and on about the features, like being able to handle your accounting. Right. I noticed like when I go to DMV to file my quarterly IFTA, I'm sitting here going through all the paperwork, trying to get everything together. Well, now all I have to do, and I use this feature, all I have to do is select the dates that I need, and it'll provide me an Excel spreadsheet with all the data that I provided.
And you're inputting all of your mileages and
correct, how many gallons, where you purchased it at,
in the app.
Correct.
So that's great.
You can put your receipts.
That's handy stuff, right?
Yeah, and we store all your receipts forever. So as long as you're using our app, you'll have all your receipts there. So now you don't have to have this what do you call the little folder, the accordion folder, file folder. Yeah. That's I'm an old school driver, totally. So I had everything in there, and I'm like, man, that's what we do. That's what we do, right? Yeah. So now I'm like, it's pretty cool. I could just, once I get my receipt, take a picture. I could throw the receipt away because I have it now. It's there. So I think drivers will love it, and if you're a new driver, I think there's a feature in there called Truck Inform. And what the purpose of that is like social media. It's like IG. It's like IG and Facebook had a child in the trucking world. Sure. It's just a place for just truckers. If you want to show off your truck, if you want to, converse. But what I thought about, if you're a new driver, when I was new, I had, that guy that tricked me into trucking. I had him to call, in emergency situations. But what if you're new and you don't have anybody? Do you post it on Facebook now? Your family and friends seeing it, but they can't help you. But now if you post it here, hey, take a picture of, let's say a wire came off or a cable, take a picture of it, or a hose, take a picture. Hey, any recommendations? Now you got a pool of veteran drivers that can help you out, even if it's just sliding the tandems. Hey, what hose do I go backwards to distribute the weight different? Little minor things. Anything on there, you could just post it. You got access to a bunch of drivers. Even myself, I might be the one responding to you because I'm very active on it. So, and I'll tell you about what's coming. So the other feature right now is Near Me. And what I liked about Near Me, I caught myself when I get to a place having to constantly dig around for, like, if I wanted urgent care or things of that nature. But right now it's all listed, all the things that I felt like truckers, me being a driver, are important to me, like urgent care. If I'm if I'm sick, I don't need to think. I just want to be able to click here, get the information. Are you open or not?
Right.
You know, so you can do that, you know, finding Walmarts, restaurants near you, showers near you, Catskills near you, just everything that's important that's near you, and you'll get all the detail, whether it's a mom and pop, a big chain, whatever, it's gonna pull up for you. Right. Give you all the detail, and from there you can navigate also. So, and it's gonna provide you with a truck route directly to that location. Right. What I'm working on right now with the developer we was actually talking about last week is, and I noticed it's on Google. A lot of drivers leave a lot of reviews on where you pick up and where you deliver, the places you go to. I'm like, okay, drivers are leaving reviews on Google and all that. Well, why not make it a cool way where once you already using our navigation, because I do feel like once drivers test it and you try during that trial and you use the navigation once, you would instantly know the difference. Yeah. Like just the flow of it, the look of it, the horizon. Like, you know how sometimes you go on Google Map and as soon as you put up, you're at the street, you don't know if you're supposed to go left or right.
Exactly. Yeah.
On this, you get to see the horizon, so you know exactly where you are. You get to know if it's 30 miles down the road, you'll see the location, you know, but on the horizon, but still be like a bird's eye view. Horizon. It's hard to describe it. The technology of it is just different. It's never been done before, so I know drivers will love it. But with that, from there, you'll be able to leave reviews on these places. But outside of Google, the difference in Google, drivers are just leaving comments. Because that's not what it's made for. But I'm actually going to leave a review platform, so now you'll know at the quick glimpse, you know, once you put in your place, okay, are you going here? Cool. When you can deliver early, they have clean restrooms, they have lumper fees. You'll know instantly without having to dig. Right. All you got to do is look up, boom, it'll tell you right then and there. Right. And then people can still leave comments and stuff like that. So we're working on developing that, adding that feature. So I just tell people, stay tuned. I just want to make it a one-stop shop. Everything in trucking, you know, that you need, it'll be here.
As we talked at Matt's, I did make mention of the Doc 411 service for shipper and receiver facility information. Since Matt's, Salman and I have communicated further, and he's exploring possibly integrating Doc 411 into his app.
Tell me what the cost of this is. You got the 14-day. So if you go to the app stores now, it's iPhone and
Android
both. Right?
Yes, sir.
It's a 14-day free trial.
14-day free trial. And then from there, you can sign up for $19.99 a month, or you can sign up, which will save $40 if you sign up for the year at $199 for the year.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted it to be free, but again, I'm offering.
You put a lot of work.
Yeah, it put a lot of money and and you know, I'm being charged certain things like that. Yeah. Navigation is really nice, but it's not. It's the more expensive one. Yeah. You know, so drivers gonna get, you know, what they pay for, and I offer things that you could really use. I don't want to, you know, take anything away from all the other trucking tools, but mine, and you'll be able to actually use it because I know what we need because I'm an actual driver. So
here's a big thanks to Deron Salmon for his time. You can find links to the Truck Networking app in the post that houses this podcast for April 28th, 2023 at the world famous overdriveonline.com/overdrive-radio. I'll drop a couple in the show notes too, wherever you're listening. Overdrive Radio is on SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify, and many more. We hope you're subscribing to tune in every week. Leave us a rating or review if so, and here's a big thanks in advance. Any feedback? Dial into our podcast message line at 615-852-8530. Always love to hear from you. Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker-songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhofer. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhofer, featuring the guitar work of Travis the Snake Man himself, Wamick, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo, Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own news editor Matt Cole, social media coordinator Holly Young, executive editor Alex Lockey, and video editors Lawson Rudisill and Andrew Gwynn. See you next time.